This news update is brought to you by...
So, I'm meeting Rico later. Gotta check in with the girls, but first, let me check my usage on the MyLime app. Now, what should I wear? Hashtag sexy. He's here.
It's Thursday, May 20th, and time for the Barbados Today Evening Update. I'm Fernella Weatherburn. Thanks for joining us. We begin with news that the Ministry of Education has launched an investigation into reports of a disturbing game being played by school children. The game, the Charlie Challenge, is being described in religious circles as demonic. The game, which can be found on the internet, is said to be similar to a Ouija board. During the challenge, players use two pencils to form a cross and call out the name Charlie twice. This action reportedly caused the pencils and other nearby objects to move on their own. Today, church leaders were called in to several schools where the game was allegedly played by students. Acting Deputy Chief Education Officer Karen Bess tells Barbados Today that the ministry only learned of the reports today, and officials are looking into the matter. The controversial game is also causing a stir in neighboring Caribbean countries. In Antigua, several school children were reportedly rushed to the hospital after playing. In St. Lucia and Trinidad and Tobago, education officials warned students not to play the game after children had unpleasant experiences. In other news, the 2015 hurricane season is 3 days away, and from all accounts, it will be a quiet one. But disaster officials are urging residents not to become complacent in their preparations for the season. Executive Director of the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, Ronald Jackson, told a news conference this morning predictions are for a 70% chance of a below-average season with 12 named storms, 6 hurricanes, and 3 major hurricanes. Despite this, Jackson is appealing to Barbados and the rest of the region to be prepared.
We have to recognize that it only takes one, and I'm not even going to say one hurricane, it takes one tropical disturbance to cause significant damage to our already fragile ecosystems, or already fragile economies, which are coastally dependent, and our settlement patterns are coastally and very much based along waterways, rivers, etc. And so one tropical disturbance can lead to significant losses and loss of lives, as we've seen over the many years of our experience in our region. And so we are encouraging vigilance in that regard. We're not by any means encouraging our public to treat a below average year as a reason to be complacent. So there has to be vigilance.
Customs staff have gotten the full backing of the National Union of Public Workers National Council. Word of this from NUPW President Akani McDowell on the heels of yesterday's meeting with disgruntled workers of the Customs and Excise Department. The staff are adamant that they will not be making the move to the Barbados Revenue Authority as planned by government on July 1. And McDowell tells Barbados Today the council has given the workers its full support on whatever decision they take now and after the union receives some outstanding information from the civil service.
We want to receive the information, the outstanding information from the civil service, the Ministry of Civil Service, and two, back up any customs officer, to support any customs officer who decides not to go at the BRA.
Oh, I see. So you all got clearance then from the National Council then?
Yes, clearance has been given to support those officers to the fullest if need be. What we want to do at this stage is to make sure that we get that information from the head of the civil service. It's outstanding.
Barbados is among 6 Caribbean countries to attain the Millennium Development Goals on hunger, according to the Food and Agriculture Organization report entitled Panorama of Food Insecurity in Latin America and the Caribbean 2015, Bridgetown, Guyana, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Suriname, Cuba, and the Dominican Republic are also showing promising indicators with regards to food security and nutrition. The report, which was released today, explained that the countries have made huge steps towards the total eradication of hunger by reducing both the percentage and total number of undernourished people to less than half. In sports, not everyone believes Shivnarine Chanderpaul should be given an opportunity to bow out of international cricket against the touring Australians. In fact, legendary West Indies fast bowler and cricket commentator Michael Holden believes chairman of selectors Clive Lloyd was correct to call time on Chanderpaul's career. Chanderpaul, who's 40 years old, has enjoyed an outstanding career but has managed just 183 runs in his last 11 innings at an average of 16.64, and Holding offered the opinion that he was no longer good enough to be picked for the West Indies.
I think I have to agree with Clive Lloyd on this issue. I don't believe that cricketers should just get a series because for getting a series sake. Say it's his swan song series. If he deserves to be in the team, whether he's 16 years old or 40 years old, I think he should play. I don't think Shivnarine Chanderpaul has proven in recent times that he is still a good enough player to be playing for the West Indies. He has done yeoman service for over 2 decades. West Indies should be happy to have had him playing for them for that long. And as we know, run up, all good things have to come to an end. I saw him play against South Africa recently, and he certainly did not look like the Shivnarine Chanderpaul that I was accustomed to seeing. He was a little bit slow with his reactions to the fast bowlers.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Farley Hill, Crane Beach, fried chicken at Pug's Bar. All parts of Barbadian life that some might know, but others don't. So join me, Katrina Marshall, as I go about town and across country, peeking into tucked away districts and liming with the people who bring them to life. About town and across country, coming soon to Barbados Today, news you can trust.
We pick up with news in Guyana, where the newly installed government of President David Granger is being urged to investigate the day-to-day operations of the country's ailing rice industry.
We want a thorough investigation into the corruption in the rice industry, and we want these people who are actually involved in the management and running of the rice industry, we want them to be thoroughly investigated. We have to hire specialists to carry out a forensic audit on their properties they own and the monies that they have misspent, them and their friends and their families. That's what the rice farmers do. We would not end unless there is a thorough investigation and they are brought to justice.
And finally, on the international scene, an Iraqi forensic team today exhumed 499 bodies from a series of graves in the presidential complex in the city of Tikrit. The bodies are believed to be those of Iraqi military cadets who ISIS claimed to have killed back in June last year. According to officials, the remains are being kept in Baghdad's central morgue while the forensic team carries out more tests. And on that note, we come to the end of our evening updates, but you can join us again tomorrow morning. Until then, remember, log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper, our email updates, and like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. We're also on Channel 101 on 9 TV and Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. to have a wonderful evening.
This news update is brought to you by...
So, I'm meeting Rico later. Gotta check in with the girls, but first, let me check my usage on the MindLime app. Now, what should I wear? Hashtag sexy.